Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, The Kingly Way. My name is King, and for those that are going to be watching for the first time, um, I am from the United States of America. I am an American, and I have Korean parents that are from South Korea, and I'm currently here located here in Daejeon, South Korea. So for those coming for the first time, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel, and feel free to comment some questions. Let's try to keep it cool and avoid the crazy political stuff. But, if it fits within the realm, I'll allow a few things. But, let's kind of interact. So before I even start talking about the topic, I'm just going to go over a few comments that already arrived. So I'm going to start with Thomas. Yeah, funny picture. Why does dad get a bat? Well, part of the picture that you're seeing, it's one of those things about the topic. So I'm going to expand further on that once I get into the topic a little bit more. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So definitely. Okay, Ken, hello. Yes, Ken, I was on GeoStream. I saw your question about you're allowed to go to Korea and then go to Philippines. So yeah, I would like to know a little bit more because I was trying to look for that information that you mentioned to Geo earlier within the last hour. So let me know where you got that information because I'd like to know because now I'm kind of curious there. And Bob, yes, how are you doing? I'm doing fine so far. I'm really doing the best to enjoy what I got over here. I mean, the cases have been rising here in Daejeon. Let me see. Let me see what I have here. Because I get a text message almost every time there is something going on. So, yeah. So the case number, yeah, so we're up to 127 cases here in Daejeon. So that is what's going on. But yeah, I'm still doing well here. And Mr. Tommy Gunn, yes, you're in Las Vegas. So hopefully you can get back to your motherland country, back to Daehanmin국 here. So yeah. Okay, so Ken, you're saying if you can get into South Korea, which is open for US, stay at least 30 days, you can travel to the Philippines once the travel bubble's open. You can do this with the US passport. Okay. Yeah, so if you can look for that info, that would be great. So yeah. Okay. So now without further ado, I'm gonna tell you what that title is. So for those coming to Korea as foreigners, and I'm still considered a foreigner even if I am a Korean person with the face. There's a thing that's been going around for the past 5 to 10 years, and that term hell. Yeah, and then the next word next to it, chosan. Hell chosan. So if you ask any Korean, especially like the young Koreans right now, they do not like that term, and they're living pretty much a hell life in Korea. So yes. So the issue is for the Hell Joseon, young Koreans, after they graduate, they can't find work. They can't find employment at either LG, Samsung, or Hyundai. They can't even find anything at all. So that's what's going on. So this will be like a little discussion to talk about what local Koreans go through. So I wanted to shed some light on that. So I'm going to expand a little further here, but I want to at least catch up here. Oh, hi, Amira. Yes, I catched up in a while. Yeah, she's studying Japanese. And check out her channel. She's based in Cebu City. And Thomas, yes, we're both interested. So I think Ken will get it for us when he gets a chance. Okay, now going back to the topic about Hell Joseon, it became a mass media name because I came here in 2015 and I've been going back and forth to the US, Philippines, Thailand. I've been traveling. So what a lot of these young Koreans go through is just total hell. It is a big the haves and have-nots in Korean society. So you get really beat down here. Now, just like, parts of Japan, because Japan is kind of the same way. When you do get a job, you are working like a dog and there's no overtime. You start early in the morning and then you're there till late night. And the way the working culture works is, in America, we work 9 to 6, 6 o'clock, time to roll out. Well, in Korea, you don't roll out till your boss leaves. So it's like this. Dang, did he leave yet? Dang, he's still there? Man. So they just sit and play on their phones, play on the computer. They do a neighbor search, which is the Google of South Korea. So that's what they pretty much just do. Just sit there, twiddle their thumb. They're like, okay, when can we go home? And then that's one issue. Another issue is you go to a thing called weishik. And what weishik is, you go to night drinking with your boss. And sometimes you do it every single night. And if you are the subordinate, the youngest in the group, you do all the cooking, you set up the table. There's this thing called that hierarchy. Yeah, there's a huge hierarchy here. And that's one of the things. Now, if any of you gentlemen have seen the movie Parasite, which won 4 Oscars this past year, that movie came at a time where a lot of young Koreans are just really frustrated. And, President Moon Jae-in is the current president, which his term ends in 2022. He promised to, close the wage gap. And most youngsters, if you ask them, feel he has not fulfilled that promise. There's still a big separation of the haves and have-nots here in Korea. And it's just really dear to me. Like, for example, I don't know, because I lived in Korea and even expats that live here will know what I'm talking about because they witness this every day. When I go teach English to young students and I just sit there and I think about, okay, they come and learn English from me, but you know what's going on in the back of my mind? What are these futures like for these kids? What kind of hell are they going to go through to, get anywhere? So, yeah, what kind of crap do they need to go through? So, yeah. And Earl, welcome. Nice to see you. So that is one of those things with the Hell Joseon. For a local Korean, it is hell here. There's really not much opportunities. And the thing is, I didn't believe it. My dad warned me, like, King, when you come here, it's going to be hell here for you too. He told me that you're going to have a hard time in Korea. I didn't believe my dad at all. I said, no, I'm an American. But honestly, I'll tell you this. I had a hard time my first year. I taught English, but a lot of people wouldn't hire me because this face, I look like everyone else. They wanted somebody who was either foreign looking, Caucasian, or that would take an African American over me from a Western country because they look foreign and I didn't. So I learned a little bit of the hardship just by being the same color, even if I can, speak the language here too and help with things. So yeah. And speaking what Tommy Gunn is saying, yeah, it's a good movie, best picture in America. I was extremely shocked about it. So yeah. And right here, yeah, I was and I was surprised too. So yeah. So okay. Now Daniel T has some information here. He goes, Ken, I'm sorry to break this to you, but that's a false premise. So visa policy in the Philippines is still suspended. Even if travel bubbles start to begin, foreigners are still not allowed to enter the Philippines. So, yep, we'll see what happens here. Yeah. And Bob, yeah, as I'm talking about the topic, isn't there a lot of competition to keep up with the Joneses? Yeah, there's a big time. I call it keeping up with the Kims, Lees, and the Parks. So yeah, it's very competitive here, and I see it. I witness it. And example is, after I'm done with this live stream, I go to a coffee shop every day, and in the coffee shop, I'm working on my thing. I'm doing my editing. I'm actually going to other live streams. Especially like some of my Filipino friends, they're live streaming, and I will only go to a live stream if they interact. I'm not going to look at a silent live stream. I'm sorry. I'm not wasting that kind of time on silent live streams, but I actually interact and I'm laughing with them, and everyone in the coffee shops is looking at me funny and weird, where I do people watch in a coffee shop, and this is what I see. I just see like, they're just pathetically sad. They have to study their asses off, and they just can't get anywhere. There's like it's become very hopeless for a lot of young Koreans, So yeah, it's very competitive, and the mindset is a little bit, out of this world. Like, I'm sorry, as much as I like Barack Obama as a president, as a person, he doesn't know. He said, we should, like America should adopt like the education system like South Korea and all that. Brock, you don't have a clue. Okay? At what price? At what price should we adopt South Korean education ways to America so we could look good and have the test scores up? And the sad thing is, most South Korean kids are just good at taking a test. They couldn't speak a lick of English, Sometimes I have to bend backwards to speak Korean to them. And then the only time they practice English is they've been drinking. So, yeah. So it's been a big issue there. Yep. So, okay. So just like the Andals, I hear this scenario because there's no backup. Okay. So, yeah. So we'll see. And, oh, yeah, Scott, welcome. And, yeah, Scott backs up because he's here in Korea teaching English. 90% of the kids learn is not practical. No, I agree wholeheartedly. And this leads to that. The system should teach them creativity, not memorizing stats. Yeah. And that's the thing, with the way things are, a lot of things here is not practical. So when I speak to a lot of foreigners that work in Korean companies, it's not practical. And I'm going to bust out a little fun Korean, like what they tell them when foreigners come, like work, like research, because I have a few of the Middle Eastern friends that work here in Daejeon, because we have, chemical engineering plants here. And they tell me every time, yep, the boss goes, and this is a little Korean little term, 이렇게. So it's only this way. This is the way we do it. 이렇게 안 하면 너 죽어. If you don't do it, they're going to kill you. Yeah, stuff like that. So that's some of those ways. It's one way where we from the West, we learn how to do things 100 different ways. Like there's many ways to skin a cat, So that's one of the things. And yep, and Daniel, who's been here, Joseon Hell has become prevalent due to widening gap between the rich and poor. The middle class is also in the bind. Problem is that people still focus on materialistic things and fashion show off. So this is some of the fights that I have with Koreans too. Like, King, why don't you wear a suit so you can get? I said, nah. If I'm gonna wear a freaking suit, I'm gonna wear a suit because I want to wear a suit that day, not because society tells me I have to conform. So this is something I fight with locals. I even fight with my own family about this. I want to take you to go see this and that and important people, but I'm just like, I do my own thing. I'm gonna make my own way. So yeah. So definitely I do my own thing. Yeah. And Scott, yeah. And Scott has boots on the ground. Every single university grad I met is worried about their future. Yeah. Even when I talk to the kids in middle school, they're worried. They know this. So that's some of the issues, here in Korea. So that's one of the things. So, yep, and Daniel states, even if President Moon addresses the issue, it's not enough to solve it. People have to internalize their mindset and only can change their conception habits and adapt to the new norm. Yeah. And of course, we have the thing called the minimalism movement, the minimalists. I mean, it was actually started from a guy in Japan. And there's some, Koreans that are doing it because I've watched those YouTube videos. So, yeah, and and of course, for myself, since I live in Daejeon, and I usually love taking company adult jobs for business English. I really do. I really like them. The reason I like taking those kind of jobs is, for the advanced English speakers in the company, I know what's up. I shut the door. I said, look, if you got anything to talk about, as long as you practice your English, whatever you want to say, you can say it with me. It does not leave the door, talk to me. And a lot of times it becomes a little venting session as long as they're speaking English because, they're getting to practice and they're usually thankful about that, So, yeah, they're very thankful about saying, yeah, I need to let that off. I feel better. Yes, Mr. Tommy. Yes. Very hot temper, too much kimchi, Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, I understand. I read it from online. That's why I'm asking if any of you heard of it. So I'm not trying to spread rumor. Just want to know if King heard about this. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if that information does come to light, yeah, I was looking for it. So we'll just have to keep digging. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay. So Daniel says, I had many conversations with Koreans about this, and I tell them they get triggered because they don't realize that sacrifices have to be made in the now to secure their futures. Yeah. So not to throw a Dave Ramsey little phrase at you, but someone that wears a big hat, no cattle, in Korea, yeah, I see it's a lot of issues here. Household debt, got to look good, but got no backup, no cattle, just keeping up with the parks, So that's one of the things with the Hell Joseon thing here, what leads to a lot of issues here in Korea. So, yeah. Okay, number one thing. If Chuck E. Cheese goes out, you already know that indie horror game Five Nights at Freddy will take over. Okay. That cracks me up. Yep, and Bob, there seems to be an exit of younger generation just to get away from the pressure of living in Korea. Yeah, and there's a YouTube video called "Fleeing South Korea," where a lot of youngsters under 35 they kind of want to get out of here, go to America. But here's the same truth: it's still not. The grass is still not greener on the other side for Koreans in America. It's still going to be hard work too, as we as Americans know. I mean, hey, I do hope you Koreans do want to get out there, but but what really I think needs to change is the younger generation got to really know and sacrifice a few things here. Like, for example, learn your the Constitution here in Korea. Sometimes I like to read up on the laws here in Korea. So that's one of the things I've been trying to do. And something the guest that I had, my friend Todd, the other day, when he helped me out, he said, first thing he tells his students that, hey, learn your rights, learn your constitution here, learn what's going on here, because things are not looking good here, So, yeah. Okay, yes, minimalism, less spending, more efficiency, and living standards can be geared towards securing Korea's financial standards. Yeah. And when I was part of Toastmasters here in Korea, yeah, I did a lot of these speeches about, minimalizing, not using a credit card too much, Now, of course, some of you heard Dave Ramsey. He says, nope, you have no credit cards. Of course, I follow some of his stuff, but I don't follow every single thing because I still have, I still have a couple credit cards. I only use it maybe for travel because in case right now, we have all these cancellations. So I'd rather have a credit card in that situation than my debit card draining my money and I got to wait 3 weeks or never finding my money back. So, yeah. But yeah, I've been trying to push this a little here in Korea. It's like, what the heck do you need a new car for? What's wrong with driving $1,000, morning car? Because FYI, gentlemen, the one thing I do like about Korea, if you want a car, it's really cheap to buy a used car here in Korea. So, yeah. So it's really cheap. Yeah. So that's one thing, I could do, but I don't need a car. For me, I'd rather walk, take a bus, take an occasional taxi here or there. So that's one of the things. Yeah. I heard the average Korean person has a lot of debt with very high interest rate. Oh my goodness. It's worse than the United States and other countries now in Korea. Yeah. I mean, housing is outrageous. Some of the people here, especially the young students, they go to loan sharks and the interest rate is 40%. And then for them to pay back the loan shark, they go and find another loan shark to pay that loan shark back. It's just a never-ending, roller coaster. Go, 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 go. So yeah, the household debt has just gone out of control here in Korea. And I could tell, talking with a local Korean in 15 minutes, if he or she is independently financial. And I'll find out real quick. And I'm just like, I hate to judge, but I'm like, yeah, you're sorry, you got some serious problems financially. So yeah. Oh yeah. And Daniel back in the Joseon Empire under King Gojong and into World War I, II, Koreans were very efficient in their living standards. Yes, back then, yeah, we were under Japanese rule from 1910 to 1945, and, we had the Korean War. So, yeah. So that's one of the things, we had the Korean War. And back then, yeah, we had to really work hard. The Koreans had to work hard and go to school, get some education, get something going, these big conglomerates, the chaebols is what they call it in Korean, the Samsung, LGs, Hyundai, they weren't actually auto manufacturing and technology. They were like regular convenience store stuff, selling regular, clothes and all that. That's what those companies were back then. So, yeah. So, definitely. So, that's one of the things. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And Princess. Yep. Hey, Anju didn't even have a lot of luxury except when she was withheld in Japan. Yeah. So, they actually made even a K-drama about that too, and a bunch of movies about that. So definitely. Okay, so yeah, Bob, I see a segment where an engineer from Korea was working for a farmer as a farmhand just to escape career. Yeah, because here's the thing, just like America, we have a lot of, those guys from Latin America come over to work on our farms. Well, yeah, there's some Koreans now heading back there because they just can't stand the stress. Working on the farms a little bit easier for them, but same thing. We still don't have a lot of Koreans working in agriculture because we have most of those people from Vietnam, Indonesia, even some from the Philippines working on those farms. But yeah, there's a couple that I've noticed are escaping back to the countryside again. So that's what they want to go. Okay. And Tom, yep, poor scarcity society will only be achieved when corporations share the profits with hardworking people and government becomes minimalist. Yeah. And of course, the mindset here in Korea is, super more is more. And this is what I fight them on, and I'm like, no, less is more. Let's work for 4 hours and focus on the job and get it done. And we'll have more time to be with friends and family and do things. But it just, here in Korea, it's just, you desk work. You sit there and do nothing. Like, for example, the public school is called EPIC, English Program in Korea. I talk a lot of those English teachers. Their contract says 22 hours, 40 hours a week. Their schedule is from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday to Friday. Well, sometimes they have to show up by themselves during the holidays when the Korean teachers are off. They're in the school all by themselves, except the agency security guard and maybe administrator, and they're just going to sit there and desk warm for no reason. So for 8 hours, they just twiddle their thumb. Some of them, that's why they become bloggers and YouTube. Say, hey, I have nothing to do, so I'll YouTube my 8 hours about teaching English at a public school. So yeah. And that's one of the things. They're not sharing. That's some of the issues going on big time here in Korea. Let's see. Let me catch up with comments. Problem is that many Koreans have now adopted Western-style consumerism. Yes. And try to outdo in fashion appearances to some extent, soap opera, TV shows. Yes, with those K-dramas. Yeah, everything is like, yep, look at me. I buy. And I see some of the bloggers are just buying stuff because they use their YouTube money to go buy. And it's just annoying. And when I go shop and buy, I ask the question, am I going to use this? Am I going to use these headphones for my blogging? Am I going to? See, I ask that question when I buy something. Or am I going to use this little thing for my coins? Yeah. Because almost everything I have, I buy. If I don't use it after a month, I pretty much go chuck it, because I don't need it. I don't need too much stuff. So, yeah. And here's another thing. You could kind of tell the Koreans apart most of the time based on how they dress, especially when I'm in the Philippines or Thailand. I'm like, and in Korean, 한국 사람 means Korean person. So I go to Cebu and I'm walking around going, 한국 사람. In my head, I'm not going out pointing at. I'm going, 한국 사람, 한국 사람, 한국 사람. Yeah, because when I'm at Ayala Mall going to Metro, I'm surrounded by my people. So, yeah. So, constantly. Yep. And Scott says, yep, minimalism's a key. The bigger government gets worse, life gets for everyone who has to pay for it. Yep. So, definitely. And agree, Thomas. So, yeah. So, here we go. Yep. But never late and never, Ron. I will catch the beginning on replay. But Ron, thank you for coming on over. So I hope everything's well for you in Davao. Okay. And Daniel states, you can't force corporations to share their profits. The free market can decide that unless government intervention as much as possible to that decision can only be made voluntary. Yeah. So let's look at this here. Koreans can learn a lot from U.S. and the curse of its central banking since the 1800s, but that's another topic for another time, yeah. And speaking about Korean banking, I know what they're trying to do, and then a lot of them get mad at me. How come you don't have online banking? Well, when I have to download the program, it just causes some problems, and they use Internet Explorer for that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then it like crashed my laptop one time. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that crap at all. No way. So sometimes, yeah, I have to physically go take my little book. Oh, actually, I have it right here. So we have our little, bank book. So I put it in, and yeah, and I have 2 bank accounts. So sometimes I almost would have got a third or fourth, because here's a problem. Some jobs you do in Korea, they're like, you need to open up this account. I'm like, why? I'm not, because we don't pay. Oh, no. I'm not opening up a third and fourth, fifth bank account. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, I know they're like, King, you shouldn't do that. But I push a little bit in Korea, because why? When I push a little bit, they tend to not mess with me, as pathetic as that sounds. But yeah. Okay. So Scott, I know a Samsung employee who quit his job and has become a drunk. He has 3 daughters in university and high school. He just couldn't take the stress anymore. Yep. That's Hell Joseon for you. Hell Joseon, completely. Yeah. Totally Hell Joseon. There's an example of it, of what these locals go through. So yeah, it's just constant. Yep. And Mr. Tommy Gunn, yep, buy needs, not wants. That's a big problem. That's even a big problem even in America too, or around the world. But yeah, especially here in Korea, I see a lot of like people just buy stuff. I'm like, what the heck for? I kind of think, I ask a lot of questions when I go. So some people get mad at me. Why you take so long in the shop? Because I sit there and think, do I need this? Am I going to use this thing? Am I going to use this tripod when I go blog? How often do I blog this week? How many mukbangs am I going to average? I know. I'm sorry, I sound a little crazy, but yeah. I sit there and ask those questions, because if I'm not going to constantly use that thing, I'm just going to be like, yeah, your piggy bank is full of Korean ones. Yeah, I got my Korean ones here. So yeah. So definitely. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Yep. That is 100% true. Yeah. Excuse me. So here's the thing, I do practice a little Dave Ramsey, not the credit card part, but I don't use credit cards unless I'm booking flights. I do kind of use the little envelope system. So, and people think, and yeah, a lot of Koreans will look at me like, what are you doing? See, kind of use a semi-envelope system. I have envelopes already in my lock tote. So food, shopping. I have a coffee envelope, because I drink a lot of coffee, and my transportation. Yeah. So these are, yeah, the things there. Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the many things I learned during, the Hell Joseon amongst Koreans is that entrepreneurs is high, but copycating each other to the point where there's no distinction or difference. Yeah. I know what you're getting at, Daniel. Yeah. I've seen. Here's the thing. I'm like, okay, English Hagwons academies. Okay. Now, me, if I want to open an English academy, I am not going to open one next to 20 English Hagwons next door. That is so stupid. But they think, oh, because there's an English Hagwon here and there, I can go steal. And then the mentality is, I'm going to go steal them and do this. And then the kids wear the backpack saying King's English if it was my Hagwon, And then I got to have the van. I just sit here and go, why are you going to open another English Hagwon next to 20 others? Why? Yeah. So there's your point that Daniel made. Why? Yeah. So what happens when you don't put up with this subservice? Do you get fired? That's something I probably should ask a local Korean, because in the movies, yeah, they just fire them. But I don't know. There's like 2 thoughts here. Some will probably fire you on the spot, or some, they'll try to keep you and just keep messing with you and just beating up on you. beating up on you. So yeah. Or they'll just ask you to quit. Like, for example, I worked for my dad's friend in LA. I was trying to get him to fire me, but he wouldn't fire me. But I had to quit because I had to start my other job. But yeah, he was trying to teach me the Korean way, how life is. I'm just sitting here like, man, screw you. I'm sorry. And he goes, don't say F you to me because I'm trying to teach you the way it is in Korea. I'm like, dude, I ain't going through that crap. I'll just go teach English, or I'll just go do private English tutoring, or I'll just do something online. No, I'm not going to sit through this crap and put up with your crap. No way. No. So, yeah. But, yeah, those are probably the two things that happen. They'll fire you, or they'll keep you around just long enough to do some more harsher damage to you. So things could get a little sneaky around the workplace there in Korea. So yeah. And I'm going to, just like a side note, I tell fellow expats, English teachers, I'm like, okay, you do overtime. They promise you overtime, but they don't pay you overtime. I'm going to tell you this. And I tell them this. They're just trying to save face, and they're just BSing with you. They're just lying to you. They're just playing games with you. Put your foot down. Tell them, pay me or I walk out the door. That's why I try to save as much FU money as possible so I can do that. But, there's some guys that just don't listen because they are trapped here. Yep, fellow English Westerners, they're trapped in their English teaching jobs here. So, yeah. Yeah, don't we miss the tricks? Yeah, tricks are for kids. Going off the radar there. Yep. Or Daniel says this, you either get fired or prove your value to the company that your work is important in the eyes of your peers, colleagues, and the company you work for. Humility does go a long way. So, yeah. And, of course, you don't challenge the person over you. So I'm going to give you a funny example. You probably will, if any of you watch Korean drama or Korean movies, this is how it is. Generally, I don't think it's starting to change a little, but this is how it is. So I'm going to entertain you guys a little bit. Yeah, cover your kids' eyes for this. So I'm the big manager, or if I'm the CEO, the Haejangnim, he's the Sambunin, and I just go. So you get to hear some Korean out of this. 야, 노란색아 들어와. 왜 너 일을 잘못해? 이 나쁜 놈. Okay. Then what happens? I just said, how come you can't do your job correctly? Then he goes to his subordinate. Yeah. 왜 그래? 이 나쁜 놈. And then it just goes from the top to the bottom. Same thing in the Korean military when Koreans go serve in the Korean military. So, yeah. So, definitely. All right. And Scott can attest to this. Hagwons, for those that don't know, English academies, but we usually refer to English academies, is the worst business. Every year, Korea has fewer kids and more Hagwons. Not a favorable combo. Yeah. So, I don't try to sour future English teachers for coming because there's a term I did a video in Cebu called Korea boos. They're mostly the girls, Western girls, Korea boos. They're like, yeah, K-pop, and they're like, I'm going to go teach in Korea, blah, blah. And they do not have a clue that this Hagwon thing, English, is actually a job you have to show up to. And, you can get screwed because these English academies are a business. They're there to make money. They don't care about you. And sometimes when they don't have money, they won't tell you. They're going to save face. They're going to BS you on this. And I try to warn a lot of them. They don't listen to me. Now, for those coming as tourists, you don't have any ties to doing any Korean jobs. You're working for U.S. military. You guys don't have to worry. I don't even have to worry because, I'm pretty much a foreigner in my own country, They just don't know that till I open my mouth here. So, yeah. But in addition, Daniel, many Korean women are pressured not to get pregnant while working because of high expectations. Yeah, this could be even another discussion by itself. Yeah, because when women get pregnant or they're like, no, don't get pregnant, I'm going to fire you. I mean, they're trying to have laws to protect them more now, or now they want to push to, have force, couples to have kids, and they want to say, okay, the husband gets maternity leave too, just like, a woman does in the States, 6 weeks maternity leave. But yeah, it's becoming less. The childbirth rate is getting lower and lower. So it's Korea and Japan is number 1 and 2. I mean, now it's kind of happening in other parts of the world. Even in the Philippines, they even tell me, like, when I talk to Filipinos, they're like, yeah, we're starting to have low childbirth. And I'm like, dude, I see you guys have like 8-10 kids in each family. But yeah, so it's a world issue, but more in Korea, because it's really getting down there. Yeah. Yep. And Thomas says, yep, different cultures. Humility doesn't in the U.S. very much. Yep. Play very much. Yeah, that's what you meant to say. Okay. Yep, and Thomas Cawley, that's why individualism is paramount in the U.S., whereas in Korea, collectivism is still effective in uplifting people. So, yeah. So, there you go. Yeah. And here we go. The use and abuse. Yeah. So, definitely use and abuse. That's how it goes. And Daniel, same goes to China's symbol due to Confucianism. Yes, and that's very prevalent here, even in Korea, the Confucius. And, what Daniel said, I hear this from even when I go work jobs, in these companies. They tell me the same thing that Daniel was telling me, what they have to go through or the challenge just they deal with, getting abused. And when you saw me, hit the dials, that's a term called kapju, so that kapju is bullying, bully the crap, kapju, that's very common, like, ishekia. And here's another cultural thing, because this is something my dad got upset at me as a kid. Because, in our American culture, Western culture, we're supposed to look at the adult when we're being scolded. In Korea and Asia, you're supposed to put your eyes down. So, yeah. And then they beat you down. So that's one of the things that they do here. Okay. And yes, Daniel, I found that Eastern philosophy and values are more pragmatic and effective than Western philosophy. Yeah. So some of the things, yeah. And then, of course, sometimes they take Confucianism like another to a whole extreme level here in Korea at times. So let's see. Okay, Dave, welcome. Kelly in the house. Looks like I missed a bunch. Hello. Yep. Welcome, Dave, from Upland. Yeah. So, all right, Scott, this is interesting. I had to quit my job here in Georgia. Because it's too rural. I'd rather work more hours and live in the city. So, yeah. So, constantly live in the city. So, yep, it's tough, at the rural areas. Sometimes I wonder, Scott, how did you end up in the rural area? So, that's one of the things. Yeah. Okay. Another thing I want to add here is, because most of you do know or don't know, I'm going to assume you don't know, every Korean male has to do military service here. So you have to do, it used to be 2 years. According to Wikipedia, it's 1 year, 9 months. But I think they're going to make it 1 year, 6 months. So, yeah. So they're looking to drop it a little bit, but yeah, but every male has to go through military service here. So, but we'll see what happens. Just FYI, why do like, for example, sports athletes in Korea, why do they want to win the gold medal in the Olympics? Well, this is what the benefit is. If you win a gold medal here as a Korean male, your military service is excluded. You don't have to do it. And you get 1,000,000 won a month for the next 60 years. You get a residual income, 1,000 US dollars a month. And from the CEO of Samsung, he gives you a nice prize for 20 to 30,000 dollars, US dollars. So that was one of the things that was coming around. So yeah. Okay, off the records, Asians, included Koreans, in general find Western imposition of behavior values into their countries, agitating and create more friction. Yeah. So, like I said earlier about the work culture, how in our work culture extremely varies, compared to here, So, what was the movie? Michael Keaton, that movie Gung Ho. That was, you saw some serious differences there, about, the automobile industry between the two countries, from the U.S. workers, how they work and how the Japanese work. That was interesting to watch. Gung Ho. So Michael Keaton. Yeah. It's very. Yeah, high birth rate usually occurs in the rural areas. Yeah. But the scary part now, Bob, in those rural areas, there's not a lot of children. A lot of young people are leaving. And here's another thing. Some of my friends that worked the public school, the English program and Korean EPIC program, couldn't. They lost their jobs because there was no graduating class the next year or the year after for 2 years. So they said, we got to move you. Yep. We got to move you out of here. So, yep. And the EPIC program just goes. Yeah. Yep, Keen, good question. I ended up in rural Georgia Island because I just ended a 5-month trouble bout in the Philippines. Yeah, I remember you were in Bohol, decided to come here just as a COVID hit. The jobs were non-existent. Okay. Yep, I get that because for those that don't know, in March, April, May, it was hard to even get a job because the schools weren't even open here in Korea. And, of course, they're supposed to pay 70% of your salary if you're working at a academy, but it wasn't happening. Some people won't happen. I have friends that still haven't got paid, and they're going after the Hagwon owners, and the Hagwon owners are like, I don't have any money. And even if you go through a thing called the MOE, Ministry of Education, they could do so much. So I do warn a lot of people about coming to Korea. I try to tell them, look, come here first if you can. Just like one blogger that I follow, Do More Life, Jeremy, he went to Thailand first and then got his job. Plus, it's easier to get a job through Thailand because you don't have so much restrictions that Korea makes you go through. Okay, yeah, Mr. Time. What about winning a World Series here in America? I heard one of the Korean baseball was exempt from the military in Korea. Well, let's see. Who was exempt? Well, I don't know about the World Series thing, but I could see it. But, the Korean government can do what they want. For example, who is it from the Texas Rangers? Chu? He got exempt because he took Team Korea to the semifinals in the World Baseball Classic. So if you go to, the Korean government, exempt a lot of the baseball players based on how much, seniority and service they put in. So, yeah, I bet. And of course, Chano Park and his Korean name Park Chano, he had to win the World Series the gold medal in the Asian Games to be exempt. So I was holding my breath because, it was a proud moment for me to see a South Korean play Major League Baseball. He's the first one. And it's my team, the LA Dodgers. So, yeah. Yep. And actually mandatory military is similar to Israel. Yeah. And Ron, in Israel, what is it? It's 3 years for a male and 2 years for a female. So it doesn't matter if you're male or female in Israel, you're doing military service. So there's a lot of skin in the game there in Israel, especially, you know, the stuff that goes on over there. So yeah. And yeah, Daniel, my pragmatic solution to whether or minimize Joseon Hell: read books, drink more teas instead of sojus, eat more spicy foods, participate in socially uplifting events, wear middle class clothes or dress, you know. Yeah. No, yeah. Just, you know, do more things. Yeah, very few of them yeah, are trying that because they finally get it, but still the mass of South Korea, yeah, constant washing, drink. And it's hard for me to go hang out at the bars because Koreans get upset at me, or even my fellow expats that do drink, they get, why didn't you drink? You're a moron. And I'm like, dude, then buy me some 0.0 alcohol beer, which they do have in Korea. So sometimes I do that instead just to, you know, hang out. So yeah, so definitely. And also sharing life guiding stories with Korean about how not to be fashionistic. Yes. Or here's the thing, you know, yes, I'm loving Korea. There's a lot of beautiful Korean women walking around, but, you know, like the amount of makeup they put on, like it's excessive. Like when I was teaching, you know, middle school kids or elementary, they were using makeup. I'm like, hey girl, what are you doing? You're okay, you're fine. You're right. Just be natural. And yeah. And here's some crazy stories I heard. Like some of the husbands that's been married to their Korean wife for 20 years, she would get up in the morning to put on her makeup so her husband never sees her without her makeup on. So sometimes there's pictures where I've seen where the boyfriend of a Korean girl didn't recognize her when she took her makeup off. You're like, who are you? Yeah. Or in the term in Korean, oh, 깜짝 놀랐어. Oh, no, 누구야? Who are you? You scared me. So yeah. Okay, and Tommy Gunn, you met Park Chano Park in Koreatown, LA. Yep, I actually saw him. I didn't go and talk to him, so I ran into him. So that's cool. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I give him a lot of credit. He actually really picked up his English, his 영어, you know. So for those, yeah, 영어, yeah, that's English. So yeah. And Ron, true, yes. Okay. But Scott, yeah, Korean girls want equality with jobs, but refuse to accept female mandatory military duty. Yeah, find that funny. Yeah, I actually thought about that too, Scott, at times. Like, why don't they do some military duty too? Or, you know, have some skin in the game like Israel? But I don't know. And and it's getting much harder for a lot of young Korean guys to get ahead, you know, because here's the thing. This is a general term, not the whole, but this is a general assumption. Most of the times, you know, a Korean guy has to provide the 3-bedroom apartment housing, and then the Korean wife has to provide the furniture, the housing by tradition, you know. So, and most young Korean guys can't afford to get that unless they get that job at a chaebol like a Samsung or LG. So, and yes, there's other jobs available, but it doesn't give the benefits of those chaebols, and it's just really, you know, hard for a lot of the Korean men, especially, and plus, you know, like, well, for those, you know, that I met you in Gio's live stream or Rick A's or whoever, or Paul's, you know, like in the Philippines, age is just a number. It's no issue. And I even brought, you know, the Filipinos on here, and they said the same thing. But in Korea, age is not a number. There's that little, like, they want you to be a little close in age. And what happens is once you get into your late 30s and your 40s here in Korea, it gets harder. I mean, my friend, you know, he's like in his late 40s. He has a 3-bedroom house. He's got the house prepared. He can't find a Korean wife. I even told him, hey, why don't you opt to just go Southeast Asia, you know, find maybe one of them that can speak Korean well. But yeah, and of course my buddy doesn't speak English, so it's a little hard. So yeah. Okay, look at North Korea. 10 years for males, I believe 7. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's doing military service there. Every able body pretty much in North Korea. And speaking of North Korea, yeah, my father's been to North Korea a few times. He finally got his like U.S. passport some years ago, so I was supposed to go with him and visit, but at this current time right now, it's just, yeah, not a good idea, or it's not a good idea to go anywhere at this point right now. But I really wanted to at least just go to North Korea just once with my dad and just to, you know, go visit. Yeah. So let's see, Daniel T. Korean girls, women need to accept that kind of equal treatment if they really want to. Otherwise, consider just acknowledging complimentary treatment, military service included. Yeah. I mean, geez. Yeah, it's a struggle. And you know, my friend even made fun of me like, King, you should have came in 2003 when your dad said come here. My dad wanted me here in 2003 because the president was his friend. So he was like, yeah, I would have had opportunities. Your uncle is the dean of instruction at Pusan University. My future would have been set. He would have looked after you. Till this day, my dad has not told him that I'm here in Korea. He has not told my uncle that I'm here. Oh, it's just fine. I'm fine. I pretty much do my own thing, you know. So, but you know, that's an issue. Sometimes I fight with my dad. Like, why don't you just get a job here? I said, I don't want to work for anyone. I really don't want to work here in Korea unless, you know, I just do freelancing. Delta Chris, welcome. I hope you're getting through that ECQ over there in Cebu. Oh man. So hopefully you can get out and about. Yep. Better set up another table to compete with Samsung or LG. Yeah. We'll call it DT Communications, huh, Daniel? You'll be the next table. Wait, it's not a Korean guy? Yeah, it's not, but it's a table. Gotta start one, Daniel. Okay. Are there as many single mothers there and here in the Philippines? I wouldn't think so. It's interesting, Ron. They're here, but they're just, you don't really see them. A lot of them just kind of stay private because if you notice, like, abortion is illegal here in Korea. And, you know, here's the thing. Like, say a teen gets pregnant here, they dump the baby off somewhere to an adoption age. And then what happens is we have so many mass adoptions to, you know, Asia. I mean, to the West, you know, and Europe. So we have a lot of Korean adoptees because of that. And that could be another topic I want to maybe talk about. And maybe I can get a guest who is a Korean adoptee. So I do know I met a few Korean adoptees here. So yeah, actually more than ever. Yep. Daniel says, hi, Dr. Chris. And yes, very few. I don't see a lot of single mothers. But I'll tell you this, some single mothers wanted to date me, but I was like, no, thank you. Yep. Korea sounds like America as far as age gap relationship. Yep. Korea has kind of, yeah, went that direction, Tommy, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. And age gap is less prevalent in Korea. Don't even think about dating Korean way younger than you. Yeah. Yep, Daniel. Yeah, Tommy Gunn is a Hanguk Saram, a Korean person. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's why I'm going to Thailand or the Philippines. Yeah. And of course, Tommy, since you've been in America, you're pretty much like me, probably. You're pretty much more Americanized, a Gilpo, I'm assuming. If I'm not, yeah. Okay. It's the tummy gun 357. Oh, 좋아. 알아두면 쉽니다. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. Daniel reads better than I do too. I can just speak Korean well, but I can't read and write it well. I always screw up, even if I went to 4 semesters of Korean school. So yeah. Choa, like, and Okay. Yeah, I can't read or write Hangul. Yeah, so you're pretty much like a Gyopo like me. And for those with the term Gyopo, yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yep, sorry, I meant to say that's good. You're also Korean. Okay. Oh, Hangul. Okay. I would have figured another writing where it would distinctly say that. Like Hangul 사람이야. 좋아하는 한국 사람이 알아요. Okay. Okay, yeah. 알아요 is like to know. Yeah. I'm a banana outside and white inside. And speaking of that, I knew a guy who's white. He's an egg. White on the outside, yellow on the inside. Call him Egg Traveler. I haven't seen him in a while. He's in Hong Kong right now. So that's one of the things. But yeah. So just to elaborate, I think I covered a lot of them. There was an issue one time where I saw a video about a Hejungnim, and Hejungnim is like a CEO. He came out the airport, everyone, because he was an important guy. He took his roller and just threw it out for his subordinate to pick. And that became a meme where they said, that was me. They'll take that thing and throw it right back at him. So those are one of the memes after, what this term of Hell Joseon that comes out of here. So that was one of those things there. Yep. And Asian Boss channel, yep, variety of Joseon Hell topics. No, there's tons of them. So that's what a lot of them, have to go through with, And the interviews are like, yeah, I'm trying to find a job. Nope, I can't find a job. This job is hell. No, I have to do this. And then, of course, sometimes even for like young women that work that are pretty women, yeah, they get really like abused and, disrespected. And, like, hey, you need, that still goes on there in Korea. So, yeah. And then the same thing that Daniel said earlier about the pregnancy thing. Don't get pregnant. You're going to lose your job and make your life so miserable. So those are some of the things, when you're dealing with the Korean society. And that's the thing. And yeah, what's failing is the kids are just not learning what we learned back in the West, the concepts, the ability to think for yourself. I remember watching something about, kindergarten, not kindergarten English. This takes place in Germany, and kindergartens will go in the woods. They would have knives. They have to learn how to cut a branch. They had to do survival class. And that's one of those things that I've watched with the kindergarten, outdoor adventure in Germany. So they had a class just to do outdoor things. They had to work together as a team. They had to use their mind to say, okay, how many ways can we cut a tree, or how many ways can we set a fire? If this doesn't work, how do we do that? Yeah. And if Korea will just allow that, things could just open up more for these kids. It just drives me nuts, and I'm trying to teach them different things like, okay, how do you, look at a Waygook or foreigner? So yeah. Oh, uniquely extra. Gary. Yep. So Gary, I'm in my early 30s. I live in Korea. 1 year in the military in 1970. What would be the minimum age of female I could meet in Korea? Would age gap be wider in country rather than the city? Well, let's see, Gary, if you're in your 70s, man, if you're going to probably, you could maybe find in Ajuma, another lady in the countryside, but it's just getting harder because they're just, a lot of them just leave, you know, they kind of just leave. And age gap is a problem, you know, they won't. There's times I went on dates and she says, "You're too old for me." And usually I would not tell my age in Korea, you know. And they get pissed off at me. I said, "Nope, there's a reason I'm not going to tell you my age." And here's the reason why I don't tell my age in Korea, because I don't want the younger guy to now all of a sudden do that hierarchy. To me, it's going to be so weird. I'm like, "Oh, you're my hanging now, and I have to do this for you, and you have to do this and that, and you know, hey." Now, I just go, "Look, if you're cool and you're not a weirdo, we can be friends. And I ain't gonna treat you like what an older ajashi treats you." So yeah. But Gary, it's a little more difficult, you know, especially if you're in your 70s. But you might have to go find maybe an ajuma, maybe in their 40 or 50s, and know how to. And you better be speaking Korean, because, yeah, it's gonna be really tough. But yeah, most likely someone 5 to 10 years younger than you, maybe in their 50s or 60s, but don't expect them to pander to you. So extra effort is required for you to stand out as a Korean woman are used to Western men. So yeah, so learn some hunger. I know it's going to be tough, you know, the older we get. Yeah. Okay. Yep. King. Nice coffee shop. Seven Factory. Yeah. Are they many of them around the city? No, you know, I stumbled on Seventh Factory by dumb luck, you know. So ever since my friend took me there, I'm like, hey, and I've been going there for the past almost 3 years. So yeah, there's a few here and there. I know but they're kind of rare, but there's a lot of coffee shops no matter what. I I always like to find a coffee shop that's unique, because there's a lot of mom and pops coffee shops. So that's one of the things that I do like about Korea. You know, just like even Vietnam has a coffee culture. So no, but I'm gonna see if I find any more. But that's like the highest building, highest height, you know, 15th floor. So I like to give a view of the city. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try to look for some special coffee shops and go in them and sit in them and get comfortable, and then yeah, get to film more about them. Okay, yeah, Mr. Tommy Gunn, I heard you're talking about Ethan from Live Travel Asia. I follow him. He used to live in Bangkok. He is now in Korea. Do you know if he's teaching English in Korea? Well, it's funny because I had a conversation with Ethan. He actually came by because I brought some stuff from the U.S. because he's a Southern California guy like myself. And he told me that he was supposed to get a job in Busan, but I don't know if he is doing it. He's still up in Seoul. He is just, you know, blogging, you know, on the farm. I didn't realize, because if I go to Seoul and meet him, yeah, he's like off into the countryside. So yeah. But no, he's hanging out in Korea. I'll probably talk to him again. I might even ask him if he can maybe become a guest here, if, you know, time permits for him. So yeah, I have a whole list of guests that I am trying to reach out there. Yeah. So definitely. So we'll see. Yep. Barrier of entry is possible dating Korean women a lot higher than in a few Southeast, such as the Philippines, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia. Yep. You have a better chance there. So definitely. Yep. Geez, I'm so glad I'm a tourist. I don't like drama. And that's right. That's why when I wanted to reiterate that, yeah, if you're coming as a tourist, if you're coming there, if you do have a job and you're working with an American company or you're doing something with the U.S. military, you're fine. You know, you're going to get the same things you get back home. But if you have to really work in a Korean company, it's just like, or even as an English teacher, some of these, there's just a lot of those issues where the owner doesn't know how to speak English. So you're talking to their subordinate, and sometimes the subordinate has to be careful. They're not telling you the whole truth, where, you know. And sometimes, when I first went, I played dumb. I didn't speak any Korean. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, this dude's going to screw me over. This dude thinks I'm a piece of whatever. So, yeah. Yep, up the rooftop. What was I? Yeah, I love going. Yeah, if you can come here, I'll take you up there. I'll take anybody up to 7th Factory and we'll just hang out there. So, yeah. Ron, I don't believe age gap is seen as much in Southeast Asian country as it is in the Philippines. Yeah. So, yeah. So age is a number, especially in, Philippines. So, and even most Filipinos even say it, a number, but there you go. So, yeah. So that's how it goes. Let's see. I did prepare some backups. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm going to throw a quick question here, maybe, because I did prepare some quick questions, So the question is, if anybody want to chime in, how does Hell Joseon compare to our Western society? Is there a little bit of this? Like, for example, that movie Office Space? Is that our Hell Joseon back in America? What do you think? So I'll give you a second to think about it. So, yep. So I always like to see how we come from the West, because, we have our issues back home too, And since, a lot of my subs here, are like, yeah, I'm ready to get out of this, rat race and get on over, get on over to, the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, wherever. So just something to think about. So, yeah. Okay. So let me make sure I go. Yep. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to uniquely extra. I guess I might want to a Philippines then to catch myself a younger woman. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've seen 70-year-old expat men with young Filipinas. I've seen it. So, yeah, definitely. I've seen that more in the Philippines. It's like normal there, even parts of Thailand, And Bob, everyone have a good night, or I say good day. It's past midnight. Take care. Bob, thank you again for coming. So you take care of yourself. Stay safe over there. So, yeah. Okay. Dave, age. It's just a number like the numbers on your bank account. Yeah. So that's one of those things. Okay. And my girlfriend's 44, and I told her I was too old for her at first, 20-year age gap. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's and Ron, mine is like I have a 15 to 16-year age gap with my Filipina. So, but she actually told me, like, if I was 60, she's like, no way. So, yeah. So that's one of the things. Okay, well, let's see. I'll try to go a few more minutes. If you have any last minute comments or anything you want to add or anything I might have forgot about, because I thought I covered almost everything on my list here because I wrote out my list. So, and then another thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to reach out to a few, because I still have, Filipino subscribers here. So I've been trying to reach out to a couple Filipino guys, but or females, I always get this at times, like, I'm shy. I'm not comfortable. I'm like, okay, no problem. When you're ready, let me know. So if not, no big deal. So, but I wanted to bring some perspectives, to show here in Korea. Okay, uniquely extra. I'm in the LDR and the age gap is 48 years. So is that in the Philippines, I take it, or one of the Southeast Asian countries, uniquely extra? So is that what's going on? So, yep, and hopefully you can get to where you need to get to meet her. So, yeah, so we're all having those things going on. Yep, definitely in the corporate world. Yep. From the from the past point here. Okay, now if you had to live in one of these cities, which one would it be? It's tough, but if I was big on the infrastructure and the public transportation and the internet, definitely pick Bangkok, without a doubt, without an issue. That's not. But for like not too much stress, Cebu City is not too bad because it has some decent infrastructure, especially in Cebu, like business center or IT park. But I still would pick Bangkok in that situation. So yeah. Okay, Philippines, met on a dating site. Okay, cool. Yeah. And Delta Chris, 20-year age gap in the Philippines is almost nothing. Yeah. So very almost nothing and extremely common, 20 or plus years. So yeah. So that happens. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying this again. All right. So let's see. I'm going to have some final. Okay, I'm going to get through a couple more comments here. Yep. And that's another reason too. Thai food is better than Filipino food, my opinion. That's a good point. I forgot to add that part. That's another reason I would pick Thailand, because of the food. Because I love Thai food. I love my pat siu and my pad thai, And there's other dishes that I can't think about right now. So yeah. All right. So if there's any more last minute comments, I'm going to have some final words and get going, because I got some things I have to do. I have to, let's see, grab my lunch. I'm going to go eat my $4 all-you-can-eat Korean food lunch. Yes, I love to. Yeah, I always torture you, Daniel, with it. Sorry. But, and then, I'm thinking what I'm going to do. Make a video, do a walking tour. I'm just kind of going to maybe take the subway and go somewhere, and see what's around. So, yep. And let's get a couple more comments. Mix Korean and Thai food and you have a healthy combination. Yeah. So that's a good thing with, especially Korean food. We have so many side vegetables. So, yeah. Yeah. Understand all the foods of the countries are better than the Philippines food. Yeah. There's still some things I do like, So definitely. Ooh, they're people. And Philippine people are most friendly people in the world. That's a big plus for the Philippines. Yeah. And even if I would pick Thailand, if I had to live, I still like coming to the Philippines because of that. So that kind of makes me a little happy for the people. So that's how I gotta look at it on days that I'm having a bad day. I gotta look, hey, that's cool. So yeah. Okay, exactly. Yep. I may still come to Korea, but that 1,800 entry fee is a showstopper. Yeah. So, and Thomas, you have my email. So if you have questions, email me, or if you need to talk to me, let me know. So if you can hit me on Facebook, yeah. So feel free, come talk to me. Yep. Delta Chris, Japanese food. Yeah. I love my sushi. So yeah, definitely. And bibimbap and tom yum goong is a spice food in a belly combo. Yep. So those are yeah. Okay, let me okay, Delta Chris. Yep, take care over there in Cebu City. Hopefully, yeah, they can lift that, ECQ. Okay. I'm interested in the safety walk around these countries. Well, I can speak for Korea. It is very safe here. So it is very safe here in Korea. You could be even a female at night and 90% of nothing's going to happen here. Yeah. And I've walked alone at 3 in the morning. No one messes with me. Yep. Still no plies from Airbnb. Yeah. I can see the issue there, like, because if you're coming from America, there's that, and then plus the English thing. But you figure there's an English translation, so all right. Well, keep me posted on it, Thomas, or ask me and see what we can do. Yep, it's the people and the smiles in the Philippines. Yeah, Dr. Chris. Yep. People prefer Koreans for critical thinking and thought provoke to spice up the conversations. Yeah. So I look at it both ways because I still get it. I still get it from some Filipinos, but of course it depends who you kind of hang out with. So if you're hanging out with Filipinos that are, like well versed and been around the world, that's a different situation. Yeah. Okay, take care. I'll have a double for my yum. Okay. So, all right. Then what I'll do is I will end with this right now. This is pretty the biggest thing right now. Don't take anything for granted and enjoy the moment. So that's what we can do right now, is just enjoy the moment. So yeah. Oh, and before, oh yes, In and Out. Yes, I had it before I left Southern California. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get going. So I want to thank every one of you that came today to this live stream. So, and for those that are new, hit the like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep doing more of these live streams. And I think I'm doing one with Daniel tomorrow, but I haven't decided what time yet. So me and Daniel will get on because just to let you know, Daniel is flying back to the United States. So it'll be a last stream together in Asia or something. And then the next time it'll be in the United States. So, all right. Well, I want to wish everyone a good day. Stay safe out there. And I will see you either in my next video or my next stream. All right. So everyone, take care, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.